following presentation is solely for entertainment purposes and not to be taken seriously. While content and characters may be based in truth, this presentation is not meant to offend or harm in any way. It's the Olly Brown Show, America's favorite Thrillbilly. And now, here he is, Olly Billy-Bob Brown.
Hoo-ha! Howdy, y'all. Yee-haw. Shake your tail feathers. Yup, yupper doodle. Let's do it to it. Hoo-ha. Churning the butter. Hope my barn door's not open. Bring it at home. Ta-da! I can't believe this is my reality show. Previously on the Olly Brown Show, I suppose I could go to work for that CYA.
You mean the CIA?
Nope, I think you got that wrong. It's called the CYA. Did you know that those people who work for the CYA are covering their asses? You know, CYA stands for cover your ass. But don't tell nobody that if and they come after your ass. Yep. But I suppose if I didn't like working there, I could always hightail it back home into the boondocks and say CYA, as in see ya, wouldn't want to be ya. Well, looky there. I am passing through Portland. I wonder if that means that folks that live here are portly. If it's true, then that must be because they all have to stay indoors and not get much exercise because it's raining all the time. Now, I have been seeing a bucket load of signs all over the place about something called the Portland wine. Well, I'm not sure what that means, but if it's what I think it is, then I guess I just need to be on the lookout for loud, obnoxious people everywhere, just whining about this or that. I'm thinking Portland people are known for their whines, Now, I don't know about y'all, but I don't like a bunch of whiners, always moaning and groaning and complaining. So if all these folks are whiners, I might not want to be sticking around here for very long, because I like me a piece of that quiet. And the pumpkin pie. Now back home, if we come across someone who whines, we just tell them straight up, you either drink that wine or put a cork in it. Ooh, that shuts them up real quick like. As for me, I don't like the wine, but I do like the vino. Well, time to head up north, folks, but not to Alaska. Keep up with me now. Ooh-wee, I'm running through these here woodlands, and I just ran up on that nice old lady back there. Did you see her? No. She was a friendly type. She saw me a-comin' and flagged me down for a little talky-talk. Huh? She's like me and lives deep in the woods. Ooh. Anywho, she done gone and welcomed me to the area. And I said, why, thank you, ma'am. And what state am I running in? And she told me that I was in the state of Washington. I says, well, what town am I close to? She tells me, Saddle. I said, really? Saddle? Is that right? Well, that's very interesting, because I ain't seen no horses in a long while, let alone a saddle to throw up on them. And then I asked her if that Washington was the horse that she rode in here on. She looked at me kind of funny, and she just said, now, Washington is the state, silly, and Saddle is the city. And then she gave me this here t-shirt. Weren't that nice of her? It sure was. I guess I'm going to find some saddle up the road a piece. Ooh, Boy, is it stanky around here. And them there fish, they are a-flying. I guess it makes sense they put this place right next to that Puget Sound, 'cause my nose is telling me this place is high on the PU list. Something fishy going on around here. Stanky. Ooh-wee.
Howdy, y'all. I'm running along like I have been, and I come against this here bumpy wall, and I look real close to it, and it's a bunch of chewing gum. They got themselves a chewing gum wall here. Who'da thunk it? I was wondering how many gumballs or sticks of gum does it take to make one of these here sticky walls. Well, I gotta tell you, this reminds me of when I was a youngin', and I'd have to stay after school, and I'd have to scrape all the gum from underneath them there desks. Now they're just sticking them up on the wall. What's up with that? Well, I guess a lot of folks who are chewing their gum, instead of spitting it out or putting it behind their ear or passing it on to one another when they swap spit, I guess they're going to save it for later and stick it up on this here wall. Now that's what I call making the best of a sticky situation. The only thing I was wondering is, they don't have any more flavor in them after a while sitting up here on the wall, do they? Well, now, I hear tell that every once in a while they come along and they clean these here walls. I guess they take all these pieces of bubble gum and they put them all together and they reuse them somehow, kind of recycle them like. And I think that's a good thing for America. And isn't that neat? I'm learning a lot out here running for the president. Yeah. Dadgummit. And you know why dadgummed it, don't you? 'Cause he didn't have no teeth. Duh. Well, all I can say is that somebody spent a pretty penny on the gumball machine.
And I suppose sticking it to the wall is better than swallowing it and having it set in your stomach 7 years. Now, back where I come from, we chew the fat and not the bubble gum. But I guess since I'm here, I should participate and contribute my fair share to this here wall by chewing on this here bubble gum. Now don't you worry none, when I get finished chewing this here bubble gum, I know exactly where to stick it. Sure do. Well, hey there. Do you think this feller looks like me? I guess they didn't break the mold after they made me. Well, looky here, folks. I found this here donkey critter just a-horsing around the Puget Sound. And you know what? He told me he knows a bunch of Democrats up in that D.C. place. Well, how about that? Hee-haw! This is one of them giant gumball machines. I guess this is where they get the gum for chewing and putting it up on that there bubblegum wall. You know what? I thought I might take me a little bit of one of them there tours, 'cause I hear tell they got some neat underground sights to see around here. And I keep seeing all these here signs telling me to go this way and then to go that way in order to find that tour. Boy, this is like the biggest runaround I ever did see. Signs pointing me in every which way and every which direction, but I can't find that tour anywhere. What? It's the end of the tour, but I never got to go on the tour. Oh, this is a bunch of malarkey. Must have been a bunch of dodo birds or yahoos who came up with this idea of taking folks on the tour only to have them running around in circles. Trying to make me dizzy, and I ain't even blonde. Well, that sure is a surprising sign. I guess the folks up here in Saddle want you to know that they provide you with plenty of fresh air. And they wanted you to know that you can get some of it right here. And even though it's legal to smoke that marijuana here, this here air ain't tainted with any of it. I guess the air is human. Now folks, one thing I've learned since I've been out here on the road or running around is that every town has a street corner. And for every street corner, there are street walkers. but this is the first time I've seen a street corner that advertises its business. That's right. Right where I'm standing, a broad can meet up with a John. Or vice versa. How about that? Whew. I just found my way all the way over here to what they call the Space Needle. And it's pretty tall, ain't it? I hear tell that you can see all around these here parts if you make your way up to the top of that there needle. But I don't like needles. Oh no! I don't care what kind of needles they are. I don't like looking for needles in a haystack. I don't knit with them. I don't sew with them. I don't like doctors who stick me in the butt with them. And I sure don't shoot up with them, if you get my drift. So I sure as heck ain't gonna get anywhere up there near that needle, cause if I get stuck with that, it would be what they call impaling. I ain't gonna do it. I'm just gonna keep on moving. Oh boy, I just ran through a lot of trees and a bunch of weed to get across that there Washington. It's a good thing that weed is legal there. Now I got to tell you about this woman over here. I came up the other side of that there weed and she was standing there, so I said howdy. And I asked her where I was. And you know what she said? No. Idaho. Idaho? I said, I'm glad you the hoe, cause I ain't a hoe. And lady, if you want to be a hoe, well, that's your business. But if I were you, I wouldn't be calling that out too loud in mixed company. Know what I'm saying? Now, I hear tell they specialize in spuds around here. I like a good old-fashioned mashed up spud. Don't you? Back home, we call them taters. And there's all kinds of them. There's red ones and yellow ones and brown ones and even purple ones too. We used to play games with them like 1 potato, 2 potato, 3 potato, 4 and Mr. Potato Head. And in the summertime, we'd have a round or two of the hot potato. Oh, them are good times, folks. Good times. Well, time's a wasting. I gotta run. I'm in Montana, y'all. I just passed me this here conehead like doohickey made of twigs. Oh, now I'm told they call it a teepee. Now I wonder why they call it that. Well, back home we just call it an outhouse. But I guess it makes sense, cause when you drink a whole lot of tea, you're gonna have to pee. Call it what you will, but when you gotta go, you gotta go. Uh-oh. Over yonder, I see a couple of them there engines. Let's go gab at them. Well, howdy, y'all. I'm Olly Billy-Bob Brown. Are y'all what they call honest engines? What do folks call you? Oh, wait, let me guess. Your name's Tommy and your name's Hawk. What y'all doing? You just sitting around shooting the sitting bull? Oh, I'm just kidding. You gonna put something in the pipe and smoke it? You know, you need to be careful lest it's illegal to smoke and choke around here. But I'll tell you what, that Washington place I just came from, well, they'll let you do the weed there. It's something to think about. Well, I guess I better hit it. It was nice meeting y'all. Y'all have a good one now. Would you look at that pile of rocks? Someone took the time to stack them suckers up like pancakes. Well, folks have too much time on their hands if all they can do is go around putting rocks on top of each other and expecting them not to fall down. Well, maybe someone needs to put them to work doing something helpful. I will say this, though. It kind of looks like that game where you pull out one rock and all the other ones come a-tumbling down. Oh, don't worry. I ain't gonna do it, but it might be fun, though. Well, howdy. I got a question for you. I heard somewhere that there are only 2 things in Montana, steers and queers. Which one are you? Well, don't get all huffy, I'm just a-asking. Now, this here is a buffalo. And that there underneath it is what they call a chip, a.k.a. a buffalo chip. Now, these chips are good for farming, but you don't want to put them in your cookies. Now, that wouldn't be sweet. Oh, no, it wouldn't. I'm trying to figure out where I'm going to go next. There are too many signs, too much information, TMI. No wonder I keep getting lost and off track. running around in circles all the time. But I am determined I'm going to finish this race yet. I guess I'll do what the Indians do and just go that-a-way, or that-a-way, or that-a-way.
Next time on the Olly Brown Show.
Okay, y'all, I'm running across this place called Utah, and I just stumbled on what must be the biggest salt lick I've ever seen. It's a super humongous lake made of salt, and I don't see one head of cattle anywhere out here. It's like a ghost town. Can you imagine having a salt lick that size without one cow here to enjoy it? Oh well, I guess that means more salt for your shaker, unless you like the pepper.